Sheikh Yasser, across the university, students, this amazing generation, what's happening, Muslim and non-Muslim, a lot of them actually that are running these encampments are not even Muslims, have been asking their universities to divest from these corporations that are supporting the Israeli genocide and this apartheid state. And so they're bringing it up directly in a peaceful fashion through their democratic abilities to the university presidents. And most of these presidents and most of these universities are refusing to recognize what their student base wants. So what have they started to do? They've started peaceful protests and setting up these encampments. And I think it started first at Columbia. And it has spread to, I think, up until yesterday, about 160 universities across the United States, to the extent, Sheikh Yasser, that even people in Gaza are holding up signs thanking all of these university students for what they're doing. So your take on it, Sheikh Yasser?
I mean, I always, sometimes the media or, of any kinds, whether it's like conventional or social, try to paint a picture that is very myopic, like, look at specific things. But if you just take a step back, you look at it from a macro level, at the end of the day, what are these young people on campuses asking for? It's the same spirit of the anti-war movement that has spanned decades in our country. It's a spirit of stopping violence. It's a spirit of ending death and destruction. It's a spirit of not wanting to see pain and suffering in any part of the world. That is the governing spirit of these individuals. People are going to try, the propagandists are going to try to paint narratives around what is and what isn't, and it's funded by X and done by Y and whatever. At the end of the day, this is all nonsense. And it's known categorically this is nonsense, because look at these kids, look at these young people, look at what they're calling for, look at what they're actually trying to do. It's been overwhelmingly peaceful. When has any type of violence happened? It's the violence that encircled these young people. It's the people who came from outside. It's the people who came as agitators. It is the, kind of the pro-Israeli forces that came in, the individuals. Then you see the way in which the police force has been unfortunately unleashed upon these people. It's like, where are these methods coming from? This super intense, aggressive approach to, undo what has been overwhelmingly a peaceful reality. They have not caused any harm to anyone, right? And so, what the spirit of these gatherings have clearly been, has been, let's put an end. Let's end all sorts of death and destruction and pain and suffering. And like you said, what more peaceful than divesting? Like, if you're not going to stop genociding a people, then we will divest from you. That's a very simple narrative. It's not, and the reason why the reaction towards these young people is so visceral, because you're effectively hitting them where it hurts. It's those divestments. It's, look at what the ICC just put out in terms of, criminalizing the leaders of Israel as is right now. This is the stuff that really hurts. It's because it's now being, instantiated in like in what's known like in the ICC, in courts. Now companies, like right now, multiple universities have divested. And whenever a vote has been placed, it's been overwhelmingly on the side of divestment. Yep. Just, I think, as recent as Brown today or so. So there's clearly a social movement and a reality that's saying enough is enough. We cannot tolerate this death and destruction. We cannot tolerate this level of harm. And furthermore, we don't want to be a part of funding or endorsing the campuses that we go to, the universities that we are part of, our tax dollars. We cannot be supporting this reality, because clearly this is a genocidal reality that everyone in the world can see, more than evidently.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, to that note, to Brown, I think you said Brown actually took on what the students brought up, and they said, hey, we're actually going to vote on this and bring it to our board. So, what hurts me so much is we pride ourselves on being such a democratic nation, and actually, listening to those that we in power are, as people of power, are governing. And here you have, these microcosms of these little states, of these universities all over, and they're not being listened to.